Hello everyone. Today we're gonna have another AR-47 adventure. Okay, so those of you that have been following my channel, I've been having some issues with the Bear Creek Arsenal firing pin breaking in this gun. So the gun's really accurate. Okay, I've been getting one MOA groups at 100 yards and 200 yards with Red Army Standard and also with Tula white box. So this gun is very accurate with fairly cheap ammunition. So the original firing pin that came with this, that broke at around 250 rounds. Okay, so I reached out to Davidson Defense, sent them an email, and they immediately sent me a replacement. The replacement, right, broke within 10 rounds. Okay, now they didn't build the bull carrier group with a firing pin. That came from Bear Creek Arsenal. So it took them a couple of days to get back to me on the second break, and they said that they needed some time to work on this. Okay, because there's no point in them sending me another Bear Creek Arsenal firing pin that's going to break. They probably need to get back to them and figure out what's going on here with these firing pins that are breaking. But in the meantime, what I did is, as soon as I got the second firing pin breaking on me, I got online, looked at a few reviews, and I got two 7.62x3.9 firing pins from Black Rifle Arms. I saw some good reviews from these guys. Enhanced firing pins, 7.62x3.9. Okay, so I got two of them. All right. So we're gonna put these in the rifle. We're gonna see how these guys work. Okay, so these guys were like $10 each, and then with the shipping and taxes, it came out to almost $30. Right, it was like $27. Now we're not letting Davidson Defense or Bear Creek Arsenal off the hook. I still want the firing pins from them. Okay, I'm gonna keep on after them, and I'm gonna give you guys updates on what happens with that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these firing pins, until I get the replacement. As soon as I get those are gonna, these are gonna come out of the rifle, and then the Bear Creek Arsenal one's gonna go back in, and we're gonna test that out. Okay, so we're gonna figure out what's going on with that. Okay, so right now what I want to do is I want to put one of these firing pins, and they're really nice. They got nice texture over here. I'm gonna pull out of the bag in a second. We're gonna put this in the rifle, and we're gonna shoot it. And what I'm looking for, right, because the firing pin, the Bear Creek Arsenal firing pin, the pin head has been deforming. See, they got like a little bit of a texture, like a couple of lines back there. I've never seen that before. But the firing pin head, the first one flattened out, and then it broke like right there. And then the second one just got it just broke off at the tip. So what I want to test out here, right? Because I pulled out the same ammo out of the same 1,000-round box, right? Like same lot, and I'm gonna fire all 20 rounds. I got them loaded already into this magazine. I'm gonna fire all 20 rounds, and I'm gonna pull the firing pin back out, and we're gonna look at it. And what I want to make sure is that, yeah, I know that the Russian ammo has hard primers, right? But these enhanced firing pins are designed to work with hard primers. That's what they're designed for. That's what their job is, to work with these hard primers. But I want to make sure that the Russian that built this ammunition really didn't have it in for American made firing pins. Okay, so since we got this other one here, I'm going to fire some 20 plus rounds. And then we're going to pull it out, we're going to look at it, and we're going to check for any deformations, okay? So, let's put that on the side here. Let me get the bolt out of here. It is about 25 degrees, so one of the things you just gotta get used to is working with gloves, man. You gotta be able to work with gloves, because you take the gloves off, I mean, your fingers are frozen in seconds. Within a minute, you really can't feel your fingers. So we're gonna drop this guy in there. That's the Black Rifle Arms firing pin. By the way, if you guys ever have a problem getting the cotter pin back into your bolt carrier group, when you put it in, just apply some downward pressure, and that'll usually get it to go in. Okay, so we got it in there. I got a magazine here with 2 rounds. I just want to fire 2 rounds first, like slowly, and I want to check the back of the primers. Do it this way so you guys can see me. All right, so we got a nice hit there. That's a nice hit. No signs of stretching or overpressure or anything like that. All right. We're gonna dump them. I got a 20 round magazine here. We're gonna dump the magazine, and then we're gonna pull out the firing pin and see what it looks like. And I'm gonna flip this around all the way, baby. We're gonna flip it around all the way. You guys over there. That's interesting. I actually felt some gas come through the gas block over here. And it actually hurt my glove a little bit because I felt it through the glove. So I don't know if it's always doing that, and I just don't put my hand. Well, you know what? Yeah, I normally don't have my hand in that position. I have my hand in that position now because of the bipod on here. It doesn't look like the gas block has slid up or anything. So yeah, there's just a little gas that comes out of that spot. Burnt my hand a little bit. But anyway, that's another issue for another day. Yeah, primers don't look good. I got primers all over the table here. Yep. All right, let's get that. I actually had to slow down a little bit because when I was shooting, right, that has a 2.5 to 20 magnification. But basically, I'm intending to shoot this rifle at distance, right? I was planning to get this out to 400 and 500 yards on the day that the firing pin broke. So I only shot it at 300 yards. I shot like 7 inches at 300 yards with wind, and that's with the bipod and me just shouldering it, no bag in the back. So 7 inches at 300 yards. I got 2 groups, so that's like 2.3 ammo weight. So pretty accurate gun. So I'm planning to take this to 400 and 500 yards. It's a 2-hour drive, so I want to make sure I go out there with good firing pins that work. But that's the reason why I have like a 2.5 to 20 magnification scope. I'm also testing out that Nightfall scope. But while I was shooting, because it's like 2.5, I actually, like, you know, with the magnification, I lost my target, so I had to back off a little bit and reacquire my target. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people say, hey, you know, 2.5 to 20, you can make it work, you know, with that in that low 2.5. Now you actually, you know, if you shoot fast enough, you're gonna lose your target. But anyway, let's open this guy up. Yeah, the firing pin looks like it's new, man. This is the one that we just shot. Spin it around. This is the one that's still in the bag. Okay, so remember the first one, the second one got crushed like inside of like 10 rounds. So this is not showing any deformations. So yeah, it's not my ammo, right? You know, Bear Creek can't come back to me and say that it's the ammo I'm shooting. It's like extra hard Russian primers. That's not the case, because I got another one here, and I can see that this is working just fine, and it's not deforming. And the good thing is that, you know, I can get out. I'm gonna see if I can go Monday to the 400 and 500 yards, because now I got 2 firing pins to take out there with me. There you go. Yeah, you just got to push down in order to get that cotter pin to go through. And the bolt seems to be holding up pretty good. That was actually the concern that, because what to do is, in order to fit because this is an AR-15 bolt size, right? What they do is they remove material to get the larger 7.62 case to fit in there. So the walls here are thinner. So one of the concerns is that might cause weakness and crack. And I think with some of the early AR-47s, that was an issue that was happening. They were cracking. However, from what I hear, the 6.5 Grendel uses the same bolt. Okay, so I think they've figured this out by now, right? So because if they use it, because the 6.5 Grendel is even more powerful than the 7.62 by 3.9, so they had to have figured out this issue with the bolt in order for those things to exist. Because with the you know, with the 6.5 Grendel, all I would have to do was change the barrel and change the bolt face, the bolt here, right? I can keep the same carrier, firing pin, and everything else the same. So the bolt issue seems to have been resolved with the AR-47, and we seem to have a good firing pin now from Black Rifle Arms. Okay, so we're going to keep working with this, and this will buy Davidson Defense and Bear Creek some time to figure out what they're going to do with this firing pin, right? Because they still owe me a firing pin, and when I get the firing pin in, I'm going to pull this one out. I'm going to put that one in there, and then we're going to see how far we can go with the Bear Creek Arsenal firing pin, or if they got a problem. So, because people got to know, right? Because I mean, I do this channel here. I don't monetize this channel or anything, right? You know, I just do this to help out the gun community. This is a very this upper here that I bought from. Let's bolt back in there. This upper that I got from Davidson Defense. I mean, it was like $224, and then with shipping and taxes, I think it came out to like $240. So, and it gets like one, you know, I've hit a number of 1 MOA groups, 100 yards and 200 yards, and 7 inches at 300 yards. So this is a very accurate upper at a very affordable price. Okay, so it's like, okay, so I had to, you know, I had to spend an extra. I bought 2 of them, right? So let's say it would have been, let's say, $15 for one, right? So is that the case? Like, if you buy this upper, do you also have to go and buy a firing pin from a different company? You know, people need to know that. So that's one of the things that we're going to be finding out. I mean, I don't have any regrets with this upper, as long as like the bolt doesn't start cracking on me. If it's just an issue of the firing pin, and this ends up being a reliable firing pin, you know, I think it was still a good purchase, right? But if I'm having firing pin after firing pin after firing pin breaking, yeah, I mean that's a problem. Okay, but anyway, stay tuned. We're gonna be doing lots of videos on this. I mean, this is like one of my favorite rifles, right? Despite this firing pin, I like shooting it a lot, so it's gonna get shot a lot. Okay, and as far as like the round counts, like how much of a life can you expect from these firing pins? They should be good for 5,000 rounds, okay? Because, you know, AR-15s are meant to be light guns. They're not meant to be indestructible guns. So, the most of the parts, like the trigger group, you know, the parts in the bolt, they're usually rated for about 5,000 rounds, okay? Now, usually I get between 8,000 and 10,000 rounds out of them before I break something. Okay, something breaks. See, sometimes my disconnector will break in the trigger group. I'll just change out the whole trigger group, or something will break in the bolt carrier group. either a firing pin, gas rings, extractors. 8 to 10,000 rounds, something has broken, okay? So I'm not even asking for 8,000 rounds. I just want 5,000 rounds out of a firing pin, okay? And I'll be happy. So that's our goal here. We need to find a firing pin that's gonna run 5,000 rounds on this gun, okay? So drop some comments, let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey everyone, I got an update for you, okay? This happened just after I shot this video here. I looked at my email, I got an email from Davidson Defense, and they offered me a fair solution that I actually had in mind, okay? Because I kind of had a feeling that Bear Creek Arsenal just didn't have any firing pins that were any different than the ones that they were sending out. He told me that he wanted to do is, he wanted to just put a $15 credit on my account, right? Which I told him that, you know what, just send me a magazine. Just send me an AR-47 magazine. They're about that. That would be a fair exchange. So what he suggested is that I take a $15 credit and just go buy a firing pin from somebody else. And he recommended 2 companies, either Gorilla Machining or Black Rifle Arms. They told me to go get a firing pin from these guys. So, which is good, because these guys obviously have the inside scoop, right? They're in the business, and if they're recommending go get a firing pin from Right to Bear Arms or Gorilla Machining, that's probably going to be the best solution. Okay, I think that this issue has been resolved. I'm just going to stay with the firing pin. Just going to keep that firing pin in there from Right to Bear Arms. And basically, you know, I think Monday I'm going to go shoot that 400 and 500 yards. All right, so we got one Black Rifle Arms firing pin already in the BCG, and we got the backup here, which is going in the grip, and I'm keeping it in the bag because that's going to keep it from rattling around. All right, so that's why you need a storage compartment. A little clumsy doing this one-handed. There we go. All right, we are in business. Every grip should have a storage compartment.